listening to Precept on Precept. Captain Shim break it down to no meat left. Line upon line in the word make you respect. History collegiate when we teach it, brains reset. You listening to Precept on Precept. Captain Shim break it down to no meat left. Line upon line, the word make you respect. History collegiate when we you listening to Precept on Precept. Captain Shim break it down to no meat left. Line upon line in the word make you respect. History collegiate when we teach it, brains reset. You listening to Precept on Precept. Captain Shim break it down to no meat left. Line upon line, the word make
We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Welcome to another Thursday evening edition of Precept Upon Precept. We are your host. I'm Captain Shim.
Officer Matthew.
Officer Mikael.
Officer Micah.
So all praises. We're going to not skip a beat. All right. Pull up the, no, before we do that, let's take it right with Officer Micah and the Watchman Report. Y'all stay with us.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Happy Thursday afternoon. Let's get right to it. Let's roll. Abortion ruling means more and riskier births in Mississippi. Marry before you carry. All right. Next article. Won't be risky. North Korea warned of unparalleled response from U.S., Japan, South Korea if it launches a seventh nuclear test. Hey. Got to keep the commandments, Israel. Next article, please. Transgender high school volleyball player appears to feature spike that injured opponent in highlight reel. Yeah, dude. Yeah, spiking on girls. Next article. It's a man. New Jersey school board lawyer says parents cannot dictate what their children are taught. So it's getting bad. They doing that whole transgender policy. It's ramping up. Next article. Officials arrest 16 suspects in Arizona for child sex crimes and human trafficking. And this concludes the Watchman Report.
Hey, shalom, shalom. Welcome back. Real quick, let's pull up that thumbnail. This week, everybody has been talking about the last 5 to 7 days about the artist formerly known as Kanye West. Now the brother has changed his name to Ye. And by the way, that does take courage. The brothers in the Nation of Islam did that in the 60s when they changed it to X because they didn't know X was better than the master's name. So take a look at Kanye up here. In the background, we have, looks like urban warfare. And look at all the text in the background because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a war that's launched from a computer room. A thermonuclear strike, a targeted strike is not going to be like it was in World War II and World War I. It's going to be tech. So, and look at the automatic weapons that the guy has. Look, it's a modern battlefield soldier, okay, and that's behind Kanye West. So while the Jewish media has you yay dazzled, the Most High God is working his plans. That's what we're going to get into tonight. Real quick, let's start up. We're just going to go down the list. Start at number 1. And let me preface this with this. The brother Ye, I don't know if it's Ye West. I'm just going to call him Ye. For him to do what he's doing, he does have a sense of courage and honor about what he's doing because he's this is what Esau says in his Jewish media that he's already lost up to $2 billion. I don't know how true that is. But for them to be talking like that and for him to be, for the most part, holding the line, the brother has courage. What is embarrassing is that, and I'm going to play a video in a minute, how this new generation does not see Kanye's struggle as their own struggle. It's amazing how these other multi-million-dollar rappers, most of them, are so nervous about losing their own endorsements, their own riches, and their own connections to that wealth. They don't give a damn about their brother. But the older generation of black men still has some sense of belongingness. I'll do the first one.
What's going on, world? It's your homie Sensei Rippin'. I'm back again with another video. Today we got Russell Simmons.
Just pause real quick. So this brother is like a black moderator. He's a cool guy named Sensei, they call him. But this was an interview with Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons was part of Run DMC, which was a major rap group in the 80s. A lot of us used to like them. And they had a song that he's going to talk about called My Adidas. And he has a message for Kanye. And this message is what every black man should be doing and saying behind Kanye. Watch how he doesn't get involved politically, but he still has a message of hope for Kanye and for black people. And this is a somewhat of a positive message. I want you to hear that there are some brothers out here like Russell Simmons who is actually, and he did it smooth. Let's play that.
Which is the thing that probably inspires him. So he can make friends with everyone that he's made rubbed wrong. He could, sometimes the things you say inspire other people to take it a step further. Hey, real quick,
I know I told you 450. Can we do the best you can? The first 2 minutes, I should have said the first 2 minutes as well. And then we'll go back to around 450. So Russell starts off by talking about how he was introduced to the world of business and that he became a producer. So he's going to talk about the first 2 minutes. And do me a favor, get me, unless you got it up and running. Okay, let's play that. Y'all watch this.
What's going on, world? It's your homie Sensei Rippin'. I'm back again with another video. Today we got Russell Simmons responding to Kanye West after Adidas ends his partnership with Kanye over his anti-Semitic comments. So y'all know how we do, man. Let's check out this clip in here.
Another thing I want that all the Israelites that we should see right off the bat, and I don't know but Kanye, my soul, he's roughing it. Kanye's beard is becoming more full. The things that Kanye are saying, we hope, and this is the prayer for with us, is that Kanye repents, acknowledges in full scale, begins to keep the commandments, and perhaps take a back seat, come sit and learn at the feet of the prophets, and use the resources and be that spook by the door and still try to stay in some of them circles to make all the money you can so we could push this truth. That would be the prayer. And it seems like he's starting to, I pray that the beard is full because he understands it. Play.
Your thoughts and comments down in the section below. And yeah, let's get right to it.
Is this straight? My Adidas. Years ago, my little brother made a song called My Adidas. And that song became so big, so explosive, that it saved the company, Adidas. Saved them. They were going to go bankrupt. And they made a deal with Run DMC, and Run DMC got a little piece of the sneakers that they made for Adidas and a check. When it was the biggest check at the time, the biggest check that Adidas had given anybody, and no music person had a license.
I pause real quick. You know what's like? Don't put the camera on me. So Run became a reverend. He used to call him Reverend Run, this light-skinned brother here. And I'm going to show you the Christianity. He ain't no Christian because he going to let some F-bombs drop. And when he said, I'm thinking he's a Christian reverend. But play on. Just remember that. Play on.
We were first. And we saved Adidas. Well, they did. I helped produce the song. My Adidas. And then artists started to realize, and we worked for many years in many industries, realizing the value of our relationship with our consumers. And we worked with many companies, and at one point we actually said, fuck Adidas, and made our own sneakers. And the Fat Classics was selling for $100, and Shell-toe Adidas was selling for $39.99.
Now pause real quick. What he's talking about, Fat Classics, he's talking about not fat like F-A-T, fat, P-H-A-T. There was a company called Fat Farm that the black-owned company, a lot of us used to buy their jeans and stuff. Fat Farm, what the message he's given to us, and he's doing it in such a way. If y'all watch this whole thing, Russell Simmons is a genius. I just pray the Lord that maybe the brother is, I don't know. Maybe he behind the scenes contributes, but he is encouraging Kanye in a way that is being neutral. But watch what he's about to say. So just remember what Fat Farm is, a black company. He went and turned it. Just keep that in mind. Play on.
Explosive moment. It led to saving Fat Farm from its own extinction. And then we sold a company, and thank you, $500 million gross in sneakers that we did.
Pause. So Fat Farm did $500 million gross in sneakers. So the message is, and he said that Fat Farm, the Fat Kicks were selling for $100, but Shell-toe Adidas, with Shell-toe Adidas there, the ones that look like they got like a bump on a Shell-toe, they were selling $60 more in the hood than Shell-toe Adidas. His point is that Adidas represents the white man, just like the white man's media. Russell's saying, and if this you pick up on it, is you don't need him. And that's what we all got to understand. And if the message is for you brothers, and this is the reason why it's not going to work, is because they don't stand on one thing. They don't stand on God's laws. That's where it will fall apart. But the underlying message that he has is right. Russell's right. Play on.
With the Fat Classics. It's amazing. And the thing that we broke the mold, because we proved that you didn't have to suck up under Adidas or Nike or anybody to sell sneakers, because no one had sold anything but legitimate. Nothing was cool except Nike, perhaps Puma, but
Pause.
not really.
So during the 80s, those were the companies. Nike, Puma, Adidas. Those were the big. Reebok was, and he's saying, the hell with that. We did it, and it can be done, and we made a lot of money doing so. And so watch, again, Russell Smooth. Play on.
And Adidas, that was it. And we would never allow ourselves to own ourselves and do our own shit at all. But we did it. And it was, I remember Damon Dash laughed at me.
You see, pause. Damon Dash, I actually met Damon Dash at a casino. Damon Dash is a high-profile businessman. And so he laughed at Russell, and then when they were supposed to get their sneaker, like, yeah, nigga, you ain't going to do nothing with your sneaker line. And he wanted to do big things. The point is, that same spirit that Damon laughed at Russell is the same thing where Kanye's trying to stand up. These other rappers don't understand what he's really trying to do and prove. But yeah, because they're scared, they'll just say some dumb stuff like Puff Daddy talking about white lie. You think Kanye really cares about white lies? Maybe doing it as a statement, okay? Go to 450, and I'm paralleling Russell Simmons with another older black professor to show you there's a difference between the older black generation, this new stupid generation today. If y'all comment, please say something. You brothers add to it. Go to 450.
He inspires him, so he can make friends with everyone that he's made rubbed wrong. He could. Sometimes the things you say inspire other people to take it a step further.
Pause. This is the point I wanted. The reason why the Jewish media, they own mostly all the media, it's not so much when they silence Kanye. Kanye, they're scared of what other Kanyes will come after Kanye. Well, if he woke up and, if we kill him, now he's a martyr. But he's still getting seen. But what if other rappers start to wake up? Now we got a bigger problem. And what we're going to find out later on in the interview with this professor is the professor says that the reason why they killed Tupac, this is what the older black man said, because him and Biggie never had a problem. They were trying to create black distributorship within record executives. And what he's insinuating is that they set them brothers up because they have insurance on them. So how do they do that? I'm just saying. Well, you pay a dumb crackhead Negro $50,000, go infiltrate him, and then make it look like it's black on black crime. Tupac and Biggie came from the same exact backgrounds. A lot of these brothers, man, they get trapped. And Tupac was a revolutionary. A lot of these brothers were trying to take over the music industry. You see, like Mos Def, they ostracized Mos Def. There's a lot of other brothers that Dave Chappelle, they did the same thing to Dave Chappelle, and he moved to Africa, okay, because he wouldn't put on a dress and act like a woman. I think he did act like a woman.
Tupac, he was starting Death Row East. He was coming on the end part of the lawsuit that he had against Death Row, because he had a messed up contract and he was in debt. So he took Suge Knight and them to court and he won. Right. And before he got a settlement, he was starting Death Row East, and he was starting like this big, huge thing where he was going to unite the East Coast and the West Coast. And then right before all of that happened, he got murdered.
And you know what's, and that's why a brother named Master P from New Orleans, that brother was a genius businessman. He controlled almost, I think he said 90 cents worth of his record came in his pocket.
He had a 90-10
90-10
record deal split. Yep.
And Master P is a revolutionary. And this is the thing, what Kanye is, they're scared of is, think about it. And I'm going to parallel this or compare this to sports. Do you have a legitimate NFL if you take the black American man out of it? No, you do not. Do you have an NBA without the black? You do not. Do you even an MLB? You do not. Well, hockey, you got that. But besides that, the big three producing, you don't have it. So what they're scared of is if the black man actually stood together, both in his playing power and his economic purchasing power, they're afraid of what can happen. So that's why they're scared of someone like Kanye. That's why they were scared of Tupac. That's why they're scared of people that are going to go against them and try to create a own black industry. Russell Simmons he's saying a lot without really saying what he really wants to say, because he understands he's being real. If he would just go and make friends, Kanye can create his own sneaker line, his own clothing line. He has that type of clout. And if all the black brothers would get behind Kanye, bro, it's play 450 and we're going to move on, because the professor's going to blow your mind. Play on.
He's made rubbed wrong. He could, sometimes the things you say inspire other people to take it a step further. I'm sure that he didn't mean to inspire so much hate because it's not in his heart.
Let me pause this. I don't know if y'all see this, but do you know what he's doing? He's talking in code. Do you understand? Like this is how I know he's talking in code. He knows that white people are watching this. He's trying to get a message out to black people, but he's going around them. The same thing Paul did when he wrote his letters. Black people talk in code. We have a history of talking in code. Hence what they call the Negro spiritual. As I'm giving you a military exit strategy, I'm singing like I'm just a slave in the field. I'm just singing my dumb song, wade in the water. There was a map at night. Listen, they talked how to get out. Okay, he's talking in code. And I know it's subtle, but he's talking in code. Okay?
Hey, Cat, we still do that. Code. We still do that today. If Russell Simmons would have been like, look, we know Kanye ain't want whoop, whoop, whoop. You know what I'm saying? He could have just boom, boom, boom like that. And you know what I'm saying? So black people just, don't be with the yeah, and just try to be over here with that. Black people would be like, you know what? I get that.
I remember when I was at Fort Belvoir, when the whole, what's the name, dude, the Afro, he took a knee and put his fist up or whatever.
Yeah.
I was around some these people like in some high positions, and they were like, we know what he's trying to say, but he could have said it differently. Like they were like, we on code with him, but he could have said just like he did. He could have said it just a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. What I get from this is Russell basically is telling brothers, this is what I see, is F the white man. You brothers can do it yourself. I'm on camera and I gotta say what I gotta say right now. But Kanye, keep pushing. You brothers, hey, you see what you don't be afraid if he can do it, you can do it. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. It's true. If you imagine if all of us came, I'm talking about blacks and Hispanics, the whole nation, if we came together, the power that we have. Now, play on.
Take it a step further. I'm sure that he didn't mean to inspire so much hate because it's not in his heart. It's not in his heart to promote that much hate. So he can fix that. And we're going to buy his sneakers. If he makes new sneakers, I mean, if they're expensive, I won't, but you might buy his sneakers. He's a creative man who can change the perception of the relationship between blacks and the manufacturers of anything and everything. He has the resources, he has the support, and he's free. He's a free black man. Can't be destroyed like Teflon. So all the companies that dropped him, good. Now he has no obligations. Now he can build all new. Last thing I'll say is one of the people who called me and asked could they speak to him. Of course, I would never give his number
Okay,
out.
pause. That's it on that.
Hey, Cap.
Yes, sir.
What he's saying is, do your business. Don't tell everybody about it.
Right.
Just
Right.
move in silence with it. Black people will support you. Your name is Ye West.
Right.
We've been rocking with you since Through the Wire. You got diehard fans.
Right.
You still got people that support you. You don't have to tell the entire world your moves,
Right.
but if you make the moves, you got the support. That's what Russell's saying.
And that's what if Kanye had someone like our leadership to support him. And this is how I'm just gonna say me personally how I would move. If I'm the real Jew and I know I'm a Jew and I know I'm working for you and you the record exec, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to make as much money as I can. Then I'm gonna find out, like, I'm gonna say if it was Iuic, and I'm gonna make a whole bunch of, because I see you brothers in the forefront. I'm gonna keep the commandments in the background. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna be the ears, like the spook that sat. I remember Sidney Poitier, right? He got the information. He let people know. Then you could still help push this truth, brother, in ways. But the cat's out the bag. You're letting everybody know that they're the devil. Well, they know they're the devil. We know that they're the devil. But now they're trying to cancel you. But Russell Simmons is saying, look, brother, listen, cut your losses, do what you got to do, go on your own. Now, I like Boyce Watkins. By the way, shout out to Tallahassee. The tall man, Officer David, was on with Dr. Boyce Watkins on Black Empowerment, and there's an expo coming up at the end of October, I think tomorrow, where the brothers are going to be hopefully get an opportunity to speak. Dr. Boyce Watkins, the next video, is a brother that is very understanding when it comes to black economics and economic warfare and collective purchasing power. I like the brother. I pray that he repent. It's a short video, 2 minutes. We could play that.
Everybody knew what was going to happen. Kanye West is now officially out of Adidas. The company just made the announcement that they are officially cutting ties with Kanye West. And let me tell you, that is a huge financial mistake. Adidas stock price plummeted like a brick when they made the announcement. It dropped by about 4%.
Pause that. Now, I'm going to tie that in with Russell Simmons, because Russell Simmons said something real heavy about the song My Adidas when he said that Run DMC saved Adidas from going bankrupt with that song. And now you fast forward, 30, 40 years, and they're in the same situation. And pretty much the same situation. But now they're separating themselves from a rapper that pretty much put life into them. And their stock is plummeting because nobody wears Adidas.
And that's heavy because Kanye, what he's saying is he's approaching it from an economic standpoint because he's an investor. So it's like as a financial expert, that was stupid. Whether you happen to be a black guy, your stock plummeted because you lost the value man. Like remember Kevin Samuels used to say, "I have a man of value." Kanye brings value to Adidas. So if he can bring value to Adidas, couldn't he do that somewhere else? That's what Russell Simmons is saying. Play on, but very good, excellent point. It is, and I didn't catch that. It is a comparison. It is a connection. Play on.
And let me tell you, that is a huge financial mistake. Adidas stock price plummeted like a brick when they made the announcement. It dropped by about 4% in one day, which is pretty massive. And also, if you look carefully at Adidas financials, you'll find that they can't afford to cut off ties with Kanye. The collaboration.
Y'all do, a lot of y'all that understand stocks, every company has financials that you can look into. Like it's either a quarterly report, and they can an analysis fiscally of how the company is doing. It's public record if it's publicly traded. So he's saying, look, it dropped 4% in one day. It's obviously that Kanye was a huge part of your company. And this I'm telling you, I pray the Lord gonna do something, man. He's gonna use Kanye. Lord will play on.
Between Adidas and Kanye West generated $1.7 billion for the company last year. This is a company that only had a net income of about $250 million. So the company announced an immediate hit to their revenue of a few $100 million.
Yeah. We ain't gonna just slide past that. How he worded that? Nah. Kanye made them $1.7 billion. Their net worth was only $250 million. I ain't gonna say $250 million. No, $250 million. A company, that's their net worth.
Right.
Kanye made them what?
Almost $1.5 billion. Almost $1.5 billion.
Four, about 5 times more.
Uh-huh.
6 times more than what the company was actually netting.
Hey, and Kanye is not stupid, nor is he crazy.
Right.
On the Drink Champs interview, he told Adidas, he said, y'all cannot afford to drop me. Now what?
He knew it.
Y'all can't afford to drop me. He said that. And look at it. They can't afford to drop him.
He knew he was a salt. That ain't nothing but boiled chicken. No flavor.
I'm gonna tell you, man. If brothers, if we can have the same mind, and the Lord is gonna call His elect, and it's but if just carnally for a second, if you took all of the major multimillionaires and billionaires, and there are multiple black billionaires, and you gave them all the same mind, and pool their resources and become manufacturers and set up distribution companies, and then the black vote and the black buying power would just buy black, we could shut this economy down. And that's what they're afraid of, because right now I heard a comment saying that the Jewish media controls all black entertainment and music. So they're our voice. And the proof is the #1 rap songs, well, a lot of them have derogatory terminology towards black and brown women, the celebration of drug usage, the celebration of violence, murder, and robbery. That is celebrated in the black, because we don't have a black voice. It's what they allow us to talk about. And it's amazing how enough of you brothers, like a Jay-Z, like Nas, like all these iconic rappers, don't get together and say, listen, once we're going to get some money together. Yo, Jay, what's up? Yo, I got this. We're going to get Nas out of his contract. We're going to get all this out of this. Then we're going to create our own stuff, even if it started small, grassroots, and we're going to create our whole industry. And then we put the message in the rap out. Listen, the Jewish executives are evil. I said, just buy black music. And we went back grassroots, like we went in the 60s, and then create all black industry around entertainment, around movies, around everything, even sports. We had the Negro Leagues before, but by default, we had no other choice. You tell me you can't create another black sport league? They idolize you because black kids don't have pictures of white people on the wall, okay? But white kids got pictures of Jordan like this. Everyone had it like this, Jordan, Magic Johnson. We are this, like you said, the salt. We are the flavor of the earth. And if we understood that and worked together in one mind, you can shut the economy. But the Most High don't want it to happen like that. So that's a hoop. That's what they call pipe dream, or that's a what's the word? It's a dream that's not going to come true. I'm dreaming right now. Pipe dream. So now this is this brother right here, man. I pray the Lord he wake up. Get me strong words. This brother right here. I'm gonna let this play for a minute. This brother, other than his Afrocentric that he thinks he's from Africa, this guy right here, this guy, first, strong words. We just got to let him talk.
Promote your brand here at Viral Hip Hop News. Email me, sam@thehiphopnews.com. No, wait, let's go.
Back again. Let's talk about.
Now, I'm going to pause real quick. I'm going to show you something. See this generation right here? They used to talking a whole lot. Watch how they shut the hell up when this brother drops knowledge. I like that. I like they get this reverence, this reverencing here. Play.
I don't know if you've been following, what's been going on with him and being dropped by a lot of different companies, but they labeled him anti-Semitic, as they have a lot of black scholars over the last 20, 30 years. What's your take on the whole situation?
First of all, I don't think Brother Kanye is anti-Semitic. He made a criticism. Some may think it's harsh, but history will erase the mystery. For all those who want to judge Kanye, study the history of the music industry. Study the history of the music industry. Just started from the 1940 to the present, and see who's been making the billions upon billions of dollars off of the black artists. What ethnic group? What community? Who control and own most of the record labels from the 1940s to the present day? Who was controlling most of the publishing from the 1940s to the present day? You heard Michael Jackson calling some people out before Michael was murdered. He was trying to tell you. Sam Cooke was calling them out before Sam was murdered. He was trying to tell us way back.
What I like about what this brother did it the same way Russell Simmons did. What is he not doing right now? He's not saying like they're not the real Jews. They're Jewish. He's not saying that because he's a professor. So, and earlier he said that for the last, the two young hosts said that they've been labeling black scholars as anti-Semitic because they're just telling the truth. They're just telling history. So he's mindful of the words that he says, just like Russell Simmons. But this guy here, if y'all got a chance, listen to this interview. This guy here, if the Lord could just beep through to this guy that you're not an African and you're an Israelite, and yes, some of the Africans are Israelites, that this guy is fierce. Play on.
Present day. You heard Michael Jackson calling some people out before Michael was murdered. He was trying to tell you. Sam Cooke was calling them out before Sam was murdered. He was trying to tell us way back then, 1964. But we haven't been listening because we didn't have enough people in this thing to really see. I talked to Brother Tupac, the youngster.
Pause. So this is where I was referencing earlier. So I made a statement about Tupac. Now he's going to tell you, because he was talked to Tupac on the phone. Tupac looked at him like a father type of figure. And watch what he says about, and when he says it, it makes sense, man. Why would two brothers with a similar background grow up poor, fighting, struggling? Why would they want to kill each other? Just like you see a lot of Edomites, they've started gang warfare. They've been dressing up like black men for a while. Well, here you go. If I go to a red neighborhood and I got a black face and it's darker and I got blue on and I smoke you, of course you can instigate warfare. Because the real Bloods and Crips back in the early parts of the 60s, along with the black, they did things to help the community. Okay, yes, it got sour and a lot of disgusting things happened with our people. Watch what he says, man. That's why a lot of stuff, man, you never trust your enemy. That's why when you see, play on me, be quiet.
2 days before he was killed. And he told me that him and Bim, and like, I don't have to make this up because anybody know me, I know that family, you know, and my children knew him well and he knew me well. And we were talking. He had called to talk to one of my children. And then I was handed the phone and said, Dad, Pac want to talk to you. So I was beating him up for something else, you know, the kind of things uncles and fathers do with behavior. And then he said he wanted to talk. And I said, okay. He said, I'll be in New York next week. I'm down in Vegas now. We're going to the Spike thing. I said, okay, cool. He said, but I want you to know that the rift between me and Biggie, that ain't real. He said, they're creating that. He said, that ain't real. But I don't think they realized how serious it was. But here's the next thing he said to me. He said, Prof, what me and Biggie want to do is take control of distribution of rap music.
Pause right there. So this is the point. I want y'all to go back and watch this for yourself. This is a professor, and I think he's African study. I don't know exactly his title. I just know that he's a very intelligent black scholar. These brothers, remember Biggie? That song hit. Biggie, Snoop, and Tupac. These guys were larger than life. Everybody, as soon as you say the first, if you say these 4 words, it was all a dream. Everybody know what you're talking about, right? It ain't nothing but a G thing. These songs changed American society. If a guy like Snoop, Tupac, and Biggie Smalls got in brothers' ears about, listen, you know, these guys are our voice for us. They didn't grow up like us. We got to come together. That's why they killed him. I'm surprised Snoop ain't dead. That's why they killed him. That's why they're after Kanye. Kanye is that icon that can bring black struggle together to take control of the industry. Owned and operated by Jewish, who are the voice for black people. They are the gateway that allows what niggas can talk about. It's amazing, bro. You got brothers like Mos Def. You remember Mos Def? De La Soul, Black Sheep. A lot of these brothers you don't hear about no more. These guys were even Common. He talk about a lot of really where these guys at? These guys were revolutionary, talking about things that are positive to help black people. Why aren't they on top of the charts? When you got the dumb, stupid negress named Glorilla. Nigga talking about going to an abortion clinic. And black men, not like this professor, Jewish men are filtering and allowing that filthy garbage coming out of these black people's mouth to sell records. It's filth. And it's amazing how all you billionaires, I say this because we're supposed to look up to a guy like a Jay-Z. How are you allowing this to happen? How are you black? Kanye is the only one that got heart. You're supposed to stand up and take control of your music. If that means telling every brother out there, listen, don't buy no more of this until we get our own records, people would follow. That's what they're scared of, man. That's why they do smear campaign. And I guarantee, this is what I think, that a lot of these I think they're paying people to sit there and they might be, Lord, here go $500,000. I want you to say this. Listen, I'll give you $250,000 now. Finish what you said. I'll give you. That's nothing. It's a drop off a drop that missed the bucket for them. And the thing about it is that it's too convenient that all these Negroes are now divided. No, why everybody ain't coming to Kanye's defense? Is he saying anything that's truly a lie? Okay. Play on.
Hey, Cap, real quick.
Yes, sir.
To your point, I used to watch the documentary that Jay-Z and all of them did back in the day called Backstage. Backstage was one of them kind of, you see what's going on tour kind of things, right? So there was one part of Backstage where Beanie Siegel was talking. He was like, look, I'm going to tell y'all this. I'm going to tell y'all how it's going. He said, when you think that you sending your record, your album to these labels and black people are listening to these labels, he said, nah, it's a little white dude behind a desk with some sweatpants on, and he's listening to your music. He's the gatekeeper to tell you whether your music is hot. Some little white dude, he said, look, if y'all want to get on, go distribute it yourself. Do this stuff yourself. Don't depend on none of these labels. He was saying this in 1999.
Officer.
They've been saying it.
Remember Pimp C said as long as we stay divided, they gonna run the South.
Yep.
They killed Pimp C. He took him out.
Pimp
he was trying to bring everybody together.
Yep.
Took him out.
He was trying to gather all of the people. He went on tour after tour, concert after concert, and he was exposing all of the stuff. And he was letting people know, like, look, bro, as long as we stay divided, bro, we keep beefing with each other. This what them people want. Yeah. That's how they get money. We could put it into all their money if we stick together.
Hey, you know how it's true what Kanye says? Where did Nori go to do the damage control? He went to Rosenberg at Hot 97, the Jewish guy that's on a black radio station.
Exactly.
I'm going to tell you, listen, and this is why, get me Ephesians, the 5th chapter. The reason why, and this is a message to all you rappers out, all you big money, and maybe you don't never get to watch this or hear, but if you have any, you brothers out there who might watch this show, have any connections to any rappers, send them this message. Yo, brothers, you got to stand together. And if you don't stand together, you're going to fall. But in the meantime, you brothers go behind the scenes, create your own infrastructure. Don't announce what you're doing. Take your billions of dollars, take the interest off that, create your own record labels, create your own in the backdrop, and then transition out. In the meantime, support original royalty music and start singing about things that uplift your people, not degrade your people. Be a leader morally. Because the brother says something earlier. He said, I was getting on Tupac about some of his misbehavior. That's what we're supposed to do. The older black men, the Jay-Z's 50-something. You're supposed to be saying, okay, when I was a young rapper, I did this. Okay, you know what? You brothers, we got to start thinking economic, collective purchasing power. We got to start thinking, all these brothers at 50 years old in the rap game, you're all supposed to be helping us to figure out how to navigate through the industry. But yet, the Jewish man run everything. Somebody's got, and Kanye is the one that's actually doing it. He doesn't have a perfect delivery, and some of the things he said is not 100% facts according to this truth. But at least he's got the balls to lose money and to have the threat of being canceled. He's not afraid of that.
A part of the problem with it is the Willie Lynch syndrome, when they divide the old against the young. Because there's a rapper, Joe Budden. He's actually trying to do that, and they call him an old head hater.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just like what you saying that the brother was criticizing Tupac's behavior. He knew what he was doing was, it wasn't going to be received well, but Pac and Matulu came up with the thug life persona to basically have Pac liked by all of the gang members. And he was going to tell all of the gang members stop because he had enough clout among them to be like, look, we need to stop killing each other. But he was cut down before he was able to do it.
And the young black mind, we have the solutions to our problems. Well, in God's laws is the thing that we're going to need. But if I want to fix a dilapidated people, why would I look for the Jewish man to help me fix it? To your point, and that's a good point. If he had the ability to get connections to these gangs and bring them together and use that influence through music to stop all praises, okay? Brothers can use what they've been through. For example, if I want to reach brothers who grew up in the projects, I'm not going to send somebody from the suburbs to go and try to relate to them. I have to send somebody that is from that area, that grew up and understands. I'm not saying that somebody that grew up in the suburbs is any less important. What I'm saying is we are the people that are going to learn how to heal and fix our own problems. It can't be filtered and controlled by people who hate you, who would never understand what you've been through. And it's just amazing how these brothers allow the degradation of our women, the killing to be celebrated. All you brothers, man, and the thing is because you're covetous. Because if you never had nothing really, most you ever made is make $40,000 a year, and now you got $3 million. Your whole life just changed overnight. You got an advancement of $750,000. You got to cut 3 records, and you get the rest of the money. Your life just changed. All right, well, I'm getting to smoke weed. I'm dealing with all these women. I got to go back to that. All right, let me just roll with it. And they're so blinded, and they're not standing on the principle that with our power, we have enough to say no. No, when all of the brothers come together, women, we're not allowing you to talk about our women like that. We're not allowing you to celebrate murder, and we're not going to allow that. And then put pressure on the artists that do that. So now you change the whole way that we go about it. Now, finish this brother right here, because this brother is deep. Play on.
Boy,
yes,
do you know what
please.
You're going up against?
Bring it out.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, and verse 3.
Thank you, sir.
Endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit and the bond of peace.
Because there's no way that you could ever come together as an industry and back Kanye if 95% of you is so scared that you're going to be next that you won't even stand up for your brother. Okay, this brother about to say something heavy in a minute. He said later on, he says, Kanye is us. He's us. Like, for example, when black people came in the 60s, Jim Kelly was us. Okay? Who else? Huey Newton was us. You didn't disassociate yourself. If we were black, this was us. Now Kanye's separate. No, Kanye went through the same struggles you went through, stupid. Okay? Play.
Here's the next thing he said to me. He said, Prof, what me and Biggie want to do is take control of distribution of rap music. I said, oh boy, do you know what you're going up against? Do you understand the organized criminal networks you're going up against and the two major ethnic groups that run it? He said, yeah, we do. I said, well, you and Biggie can't do no shit like this. He said, we're not alone. We are organizing other young rappers.
Pause. That's the key. That's what he was doing. And guess what? Kanye, and that's what their fear is. Because if you look at, I don't know how true it was, Elon Musk put something up where, and I hope he puts up all the different Jewish media outlets. Let me see if I can find it. Who put that up? Mikhail, you put that up, right? Yes, sir. But there was one on the, hang on, I'm just going to read something. I'm going to find it. It just came to my head real quick. That, listen to this. Elon Musk, and I don't know if it's true, but I'm just going to read a couple of things. Just bear with me. This is important. Don't tell me they took it down, man. Don't tell me they took it down. I hope they didn't take it down. They might have took it down already. Oh, gosh. I'm going to come back to that. Damn. All right. Play on this, my man right here. Damn.
And he was dead within 48 hours of that conversation I had with him. You know, a couple of other brothers were murdered in New Jersey. One of his cousin, another young rapper, who was, you all know their names better than me. I'm old. I don't remember everything. But Tupac wasn't the only one that was killed around that issue. I remember James and Toomey was the first one that told me, God bless his soul, about something called the Columbia study. Columbia Records paid Harvard University, I think in the 50s or late 60s or something, to study how to control the music industry, because they were having so many conflicts with black folks because they had them in such draconian contracts. You know, people were ready to shoot some people. Mm-hmm. And so the study that came out of Harvard University that was paid for by Columbia Records said, if you control distribution, you can let them have their labels, you can give them anything else they want, but control distribution. From there, you control the industry.
So now pause. This is the point. Kanye he thinks like an engineer. Kanye wants to re-engineer the way black people control music. All right? And that's what they're scared of. Because if the black voice understands that the Jewish does not have any care morally about what happens to us. They want to profit off us. If we understand that you get the right brothers in that control the industry, now we control the message that's coming out. Now, but how would that win, though? It has to be a governing board, like brothers like this, that says, nope, we're not allowing that to go. You're not going to put no women showing that, and no more videos. Nope, it stops here. A bunch of black brothers, nope, we're not singing about that. No more. We're going to sing how we're going to heal. We're going to sing how we're going to bring urban farming to these ghettos, to have more crops right in our neighborhood. We're going to talk about how we can come together and form black banks and reinvent the way we did, how we fought the white man in the 20s, like with towns like Rosewood and Black Wall Street. We're going to reinvent the way we speak to each other through music. We're going to lift each other economically. Once you do that, they got no more say. They have organized crime networks that kill niggas that want to rise up and take control of, just like that. I'm telling you how evil is. This is why I'm telling you, these people are evil as hell. Give me the gift destroyeth the heart. And that's exactly what happens. It destroys our heart. We're about to change gears in a second.
And what's crazy, Cap, is
yes,
them organized crime syndicates, you'll never see them coming. You'll never see them coming. They'll be behind you in Walmart.
Yeah.
They'll be next to you pumping gas at the gas station. It'd be your average looking white guy, glasses on, just regular Doc Marten jeans and some loafers on or something like that. You'll never suspect them, never. And they'll be the ones to do it, or they'll be the ones to hire somebody to do it.
So we got to understand. We all watched the rest of Professor James Small. The man is a very intelligent brother. We got to send this guy a flyer, and I pray the Lord that. And one thing, if y'all notice how them two young men, they humbled. They were listening, man. That was wisdom that was being passed down. History was being passed down. And one thing he says, he says that Kanye is ours. He said Kanye is ours. Yeah, he might say some things that a little out of pocket sometimes, but he said Kanye is ours because he still identified black people as one people. These rappers, when they get money, they begin to think like capitalists. Man, I'm good, nigga. I got a house that's paid for, 4 cars. Yo, what you got to do? Look what Lil Wayne said. He said he don't experience racism. Well, Lil Wayne is completely disconnected from black people. Yeah, and it's not just Lil Wayne, and no disrespect to Lil Wayne, but all you brothers that say that, you don't know that you are Kanye. You are the same thing. You are the same person. And that's how they divided us. They divide us now. You got somebody about to say something over there. Watch this.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
And that's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to say, damn, that brother built up. The brother got in an accident, got plates in his face, all that. Remember he got in an accident? He rose up. It was an American success story. All of that, these hundreds of millions of dollars, did a lot creative artists, and we're watching this brother get canceled because he made a criticism that is valid. And all you other brothers are standing around and watching your brother get kicked in the friggin' face, and you're not doing nothing about it, man? Except for you got a couple of brothers who are standing up, older heads, using wisdom, trying to encourage us, saying, look, this is what's going on. And the young brothers who are covetous, who are scared to lose their money. Read it again.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
You're supposed to be mad as hell that they're trying to cancel your brother Kanye. That's oppression, bro. You're supposed to be mad as hell at all the rappers that once you find out that they kill because they want to take control of the record industry and the distributorship, to take control back the black voice through music and hip hop and all the different avenues that we sing and dance and entertainment. Read on.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
And you get your first front of your money, and you forget all the things that the struggle came from. And that's why drugs and covetousness, all that sin, just you get lost. So look, I pray more brothers come together and stand up and just support Kanye, man. Don't be scared, man. Kanye said he's not worried about losing money. All right. Now Kanye needs to humble down. He needs to learn at the feet of the Israelites, the elders that are going to help him. Okay, and that's what he should do. It's my personal opinion. Now, we're about to change gears real quick. There was one other video. I'm sorry. Yes, go on break. Yes, sir. So look, stay with us. Precept upon precept on this Thursday night. About to change gears when we come back and show you while the Jewish media has you yay dazzled. Listen, the Most High is doing his thing. Stay with us.
It's IUIC TV for me.
It's IUIC TV for me.
Yo, witness reverse iconoclasm, painting pictures based off lost scriptures you couldn't fathom. Come time travel through ages of biblical pages, black images from the creations and revelations, creating black art that's abstract through holy contact to show on the.
Shalom Israel, this is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
Hey, shalom, 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 shalom. Welcome back, welcome back. Put that meme up again real quick, y'all. That's it, yes. So look, we got the artist formerly known as Kanye Ye, and what's going on is the reason why we're dazzled is because the Jewish media, they control the perspective that they want you to think about Kanye. But the reality is, real quick, let's just show you about a Jewish man that speaks about his Jewish people. Because even their own people know that they do some shiesty stuff. All right, can you play that one? The one I sent, the one that Officer Matthew eventually got back. All we need is 3 minutes, first 3 minutes or so. Now, we're going to let the Jewish man tell you about the time before Hitler rose to power, what was going on in Germany and in Russia, for that matter, before that. So what we're going to read is that, and by the way, when you study, I took a class in college called The History of Modern Germany. The reason why Hitler came to power, now listen, Hitler's the devil, so is George Bush, so is Donald Trump, so is Biden, and so is your Edomite school teacher that teaches. They're all the deceivers the Bible speaks of. But Hitler, and I'm not saying anything good about Hitler, he's the devil. What was going on in Germany post-World War I, they had so much debt that they had to pay. Jewish people came in at the time, and I'm going to let the Jewish man tell you himself, and they brought moral degradation to Germany. One of the number one things that they brought was brothel houses and pornography in whorish ways. They brought that. And they also started to lend to people with absurd interest rates.
Cap, if those of y'all who saw that Jay-Z video, the story of OJ, he said, you want to know what's more valuable than blowing all your money in the strip club? Credit. You want to know how Jewish people own all of the property in America? That's how they did it. That's why Jay-Z caught a lot of flack. They protested that song and that album, saying that he was being anti-Semitic just because he said the word Jewish. But they wasn't doing it just because of that. They were saying it because Jewish people started putting debt on people, and interest was how they got rich.
Right.
They got rich from the interest of the loans that they was putting out because they were so astronomical. And when Jay-Z exposed it, to those that are actually listening and learning, they actually can find out, like, damn, this is how they did it. And they didn't want that to come out.
And that's today it's called modern day loan sharking. And that's they are using our law. Our law says you shall not lend to your brother who is an Israelite with usury. But to the heathen or the strangers that are around him, you can lend to usury to them. So they took our laws and are trying to apply them. Now, we're going to let the Jewish man tell you, because you might say, number one, I am from Shem. I'm not anti myself. Neither is Officer Matthew, neither is Officer Mikael, neither is Officer. Yes, these fake Jewish, they're also Shemitic. Well, guess what? Let's let someone, so then I guess he's anti-Semitic. What he's about to say, right? So you see how stupid it is? Play this dude, please.
Last reason I'm going to tell you.
Now.
Who knows the first two laws that Hitler implemented? Hitler, Yimach Shemo V'Zichro, first two laws that Hitler implemented that not only put him in a different status than everybody else for the rest of history, but also made what's called until this day the biggest financial miracle in history. Who knows the first two laws? Before the Nuremberg laws. Before that, we're talking about years before it. Hitler first comes into power. What's the first two laws? Okay, I'll save you the time. Rule number one, no more pornography. No more homosexuality. None of that garbage. Not allowed. Berlin, in the 30s, in the 20s, was the Sodom and Gomorrah of the day. They were the Las Vegas of the day. They were the Sodom and Gomorrah of the day. homosexuality, pornography, all the bestiality, all the garbage of the world, that was the capital of the world. He outlawed it. You're no longer allowed, closed all the bars, all the gay
So
clubs.
here's it.
All
Check
the
this out. So hold up. If they're the light of the world, they're the Jews. So they're the Jews? They're the Jews, the Jewish man in Berlin. That was the Sodom and Gomorrah of the time. Hitler at the time, before he became Adolf Hitler, the German Third Reich and all that, he ran for political party. He saw what was going on, and one of the first things I'm not glorifying Hitler. Hitler's the devil, so is Donald Trump and George Bush. The reality is he saw the moral degradation. If they're the real Jews, how you allowing bestiality to go on? You allowing homosexuality? You allowing pornography to go on? You the real Jews.
Because they're the red light. They're the red light of the world. That's why they got red light districts.
So you got that going on, right? And then Hitler comes in and he says, no more moral degradation, no more sexual immorality. That he stopped that. This guy is saying that his people, the Jewish, were behind that. So it's not just us that he's telling you this. Play on.
All the bestiality, all the garbage of the world, that was the capital of the world. He outlawed it. You're no longer allowed, closed all the bars, all the gay clubs, all the production, which were all run by Jewish people.
Now stop. Why isn't he on CNN being called an anti-Semite? Kanye is saying similar things of today's time, and this black man is being destroyed and canceled for you weak-ass other rappers just stand by and let him get kicked in his friggin' face. This guy is telling history about his own people. He said, you can call me what you want. It is truth. What? You see the hypocrisy? The hypocrisy, they can say whatever they want about their wickedness. We say one thing about the truth. And you try to destroy. That's a modern day open public lynching, what they're doing to Kanye. All right? And it just shows you that in scriptures say a house divided cannot stand. That's why we're the lost sheep. We are a lost house. Yeah. We're a lost house. You got other black brothers in the same industry, grew up in the same overall ghettos as you, and you going to allow him to be canceled? How come everybody ain't standing together? Because we covetous. We're too scared to lose. They got you, man. They destroyed your heart. They got you with the capitalistic dream, the American dream. You know, and then when brothers try to stand up and do things about it, guess what? They get killed. You know why? Because they're not moving in the spirit of the Lord. They're not changing their ways, not changing their hearts. Okay, how you going to do all that and then you still effing 10 women at a time? Even though you want to get the industry back from the Jewish man who is oppressing y'all, if you're not keeping God's commandments, the Lord is going to allow your enemies to destroy you. You got to fix your morals and align with God before he's going to allow you to make moves. And the moves you're trying to, we don't want to take back the record industry. That's nothing. We want them to serve us. We want the whole planet Earth back, and we want to see them pay for their crimes, and we want to watch it. That's power. A record. And it's great they talk about getting the distributorship back, but we want everything. And that's why we just got to change our ways. And that's what the message for you brothers, man. Forget about a record industry. That's one voice. We want everything. We're gonna take everything back with our moral changing, with our commandment keeping. And that's the power. Give me Revelation chapter 12, verse 14 through 17. And wow, I really want to spend the whole night just on that Professor James video, the small video. That video is so powerful. Read that, please.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 14.
Listen to this.
And to the women.
I'm sorry, chapter 15. Verse 15, excuse me.
Verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman.
Lies after the woman. Read on.
That he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
Right, and the lie is going to read on.
And the earth helped the woman.
Yep.
And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood.
And them lies are going to be destroyed. And that's what the Israelites are doing. More and more people on social media realize, one comment the captain put up, yeah, Kanye said that, but, and they posted a picture of Deacon Laba and us at 2018, said, but these brothers are the first one to tell me that.
Yeah, that was the battle rapper Daylight.
Right.
That was the battle rapper Daylight. He was like, where the F is these dudes at? Ye need to go talk to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they already know. They already know what we about.
And the earth is swallowing the lies. Here's the thing. We got social media now. We're playing a video. And this Jewish rabbi that's speaking, I love it because he's speaking the truth. He tells on his people. Now, he still tries to sit there and say that, but that can't be denied. So now when Kanye says it, we take the same thing and show. What's the difference? What's the damn difference? It shows you that the white man runs this earth, whether he be Jewish, Russian, Caucasian, he run the earth. And because of our sins is the reason why he rules over us. Okay? Read on.
Which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
Right. The dragon is talking about the so-called white man. Okay? Whether it be the European Union, okay, the 10 common markets, the EU, that whole dragon, the so-called white man, because he's red. Let's talk about the red dragon when you read in Revelation. Read on.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman.
Wroth, he was mad with the Israelites. Not just the Israelites that's out there smoking weed and doing drugs and having sex and running trains on women. Read on.
And went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
Right, that's talking about Little Boozy. That's talking about these other brothers out there that's, I don't know if Little Boozy does that, but a lot of these other rappers that talk about killing people and celebrate promiscuity and all that sex with. Is that who we coming to war with? Read on.
Which keep the commandments of God.
He coming to war with us. And I'm going to tell you something. As long as these brothers acknowledging, hey, listen, you know, these are the Jewish. They control the media. We are the lost. We are Jews too. As long as you're saying all that, but you're not keeping God's commandment, he's not going to fight for you. Hey, Kanye, yo, bro, you need to keep the commandments, and then the Lord can help fight for you, brother. And then get around some men with wisdom to tell you how to move, brother. Because you got heart. You got courage, brother. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you got the heart to say what a lot of these brothers will not do. Okay, read on.
And have the testimony of Jesus Christ.
And we got the testimony of Jesus Christ. Okay, the real Jesus Christ is coming back with fire. He's coming back to destroy. Okay, and that is some beautiful. That's some music we need. That's what they sing about. Captain Get a Liar, hunters, fishes, get them. He got a whole songs about redemption, original royalty. Y'all got a song about dragon, about how to avoid a evil sister as a wife. We got songs in the body that teach you morally how to move in society. That's power. That's power. Okay, real quick, we're about to change gears real quick. So Kanye, we touched on that, but now I want to talk a couple of things about what's going on in the world. We're going to end it like 11:10, so we got about 20 more minutes. So y'all check out Professor Small. Y'all need to listen to that whole 16-minute. That brother is powerful. Where is we at? The first transition. Yes, do me a favor. Give me that Saudi Arabian dude. That's a short video. Play that video with my man, Saudi Prince. And then I like Officer Michael. I want you to explain that with the 101st, the 101 that is north of Ukraine right now. Number 6, sorry. Now, last week we touched on 2 Ezra chapter 15, and we talked about how the dragons of Arabia would eventually begin to remember their nature. No less than 4 or 5 days later, this video surfaces. Listen, they're not playing games. And then give me the article I sent about BRICS, B-R-I-C-S. That's the monetary fund that's challenging the dollar, that's backed by real precious metals that China and Russia are leading up. Give me the Lord is working things. That's why the American media got you dumbed down on this Kanye stuff when the real war's going on, and the Lord is mustering all that up right now. Go ahead, brother.
ردنا على الغرب نفس الكلام هذا نعيد
Rewind again, I'm
الإنجليزية.
sorry. So these are, believe he's a prince, and these are Saudi Arabian representatives. And he starts by talking about, this is my message to the West. Now, the West, he's not talking about Canada. He's talking about the United. When he says the West, they're talking about the white man in America. That's who he's talking about, just to be very clear. Okay, he ain't talking about the Native Americans. He ain't talking about the black men. He's talking about the white men, Biden and his people that have been oppressing Arabs for decades. Okay, he knows the Pakistanis are his brothers. He knows the Afghanis are his brothers. He knows that the Palestinians are his brothers. The Yemenis are his brothers. Okay, and by the way, they're the devil them too. We don't condone nothing they doing. They're the damn devil. They had us in slavery in the friggin' trans-Saharan slave trade, so the hell with them too. But let's see the fulfillment or the beginning of the fulfillment of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter.
And what I like about this, he said, I'm going to repeat my response in English.
Right.
Because you know the United States like to fumble up stuff and say, oh, this is what he said when he really didn't say that.
Right. Right. Beautiful. We're going to play this twice. Go ahead.
على الغرب نفس الكلام هذا نعيده بالإنجليزية. Anybody that challenges the existence of this country and this kingdom, all of us, we are projects of jihad and martyrdom.
Pause. What he's saying is, remember, give me Genesis about Ishmael was a wild man, okay? What he's saying is, this is how we know the Bible is spiritual. What he's saying is, listen, you damn demons, we're ready to die. That's what a martyr is. You just woke the dragon up, you damn demons, and the Lord is behind it all. Why you think, we had a lot of it, in France, in Italy, they are by the tens of thousands. 40% of the fossil fuel that went to Europe was from Russia, that they tell you. 40%, that's almost half. They're going to be cold. Guess what? I had to look this up today. Also, electric bills are going up. Unless it's a nuclear reactor, how do you think electricity is created? From fossil fuels. Did you know that? Wind energy as well, but it's mainly fossil fuels.
Didn't they say it was something crazy like 800% some of them bills went up?
It was
astronomical.
It was
ridiculous.
5 to 8 times. So yeah, 800%. Yes. So let's what was you getting? I'm sorry. Is it 16? I honestly forgot. So for him to say that we are all, and he mentions the word martyr, and they all agree. So if he's saying that, you think the Yemenis is like, well, we don't agree with the Saudi Arabians, so go ahead, white. No. All of them is together. They 12 princes. They come out of the line of Ishmael. 12 princes, and they wild as hell. Read about it.
The book of Genesis, chapter 16 and verse 11.
Watch this.
And the angel of the Lord said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shall bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael.
Now, the angel of the Lord is saying this, right? And you're going to name him Ishmael. Read.
Because the Lord had heard thy affliction.
Okay, he heard your affliction. Come on.
And he will be a wild man.
He said what?
And he will be a wild man.
Read on.
His hand will be against every man.
And that's why when they don't get their way, and they realize they're ready to die. That when they don't get their way is they will strap a bomb to themselves and blow up everybody. You don't get their way, he'll be at peace with. He'll be at war with everybody. So if he goes somewhere, he don't give a damn if you from what race you are. Everybody gonna die if you in that vicinity. Read it again.
And he will be a wild man.
Wild. They have a thing called a tactical nuclear strike, or they have a tactical strike when they can pinpoint and bomb a specific building and not harm other buildings. It's called tactical. When you're a wild man, you are a condemned troll. You don't care what you do. That's the way the Arabs are. That's the way Ishmael. We call them the Arabs, but they're from Ishmael. Read on.
His hand will be against every man.
Every man. Read on.
And every man's hand against him.
And that's why they've been marginalized. They've been destroyed. And right now, the U.S. is like, we don't like what you did with OPEC. Even though OPEC is a whole affiliation where they unanimously agreed that, look, we got to do this with the oil. This was just good. Because the U.S. didn't agree with that, now they're basically poking at Saudi Arabia and like, oh, you're supposed to change for us. They're like, no, then we're not doing that. So is that in the video?
Sir. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren.
And that's why you don't see they're all together. Let's think about it. Saudi Arabia, Yemen, you've got Iran, Iraq, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Kuwait. Micah, Officer Matthew, you brothers, who are some other countries over there? I listed a lot of them.
Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Turkmenistan and all of that stuff. That's more like the Ukraine people. Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Palestine.
Right, Palestine. What about Turkey? That's more.
No, that's more European. That's not Lebanon.
So all of them is together. And whether they be different variations of Arabs, those are the Arabs, they ain't together in one place. Esau calls it the Middle East. So that's what's going on right now. Okay? Play the video game. Let's listen to the mannerism of this guy. And look at how the energy in the room.
This kingdom, all of us, we are
from the beginning.
projects
I want to hear that Arabian energy in their own language.
ردنا على الغرب نفس الكلام هذا نعيده بالإنجليزية. Anybody that challenges the existence of this country and this kingdom, all of us, we are projects of jihad and martyrdom.
Cap.
That's my.
On that point right there, I remember when they would give us like the pre-training to go to Afghanistan, they would show us videos like you know how in America like kids will play like, okay, I'm the husband, that's the wife, they play house. They would show like, I wish I could find the video. I'm gonna find it. They would show the children. They show him hugging his wife. Mm-hmm. She handed him his bomb. Like the kid, they play these games and he would go over and blow people up. And I'm like, oh, what the hell? When he said we all jihad, we all like, that's how they are.
From youth.
They train them up like that. So when they get that age, they just blow you up.
And if you really think about that, and this is the thing, this is why the prophecy is going to come true, because they're all together. And it's funny because when they showed a picture of the Saudis they're sitting in their side with their traditional garb, and the white men in their suits are sitting in this side. It starts divided. They together. They're going to stand together. And guess what? These nations stand together. The Japanese are actually sellouts to their own damn people, but you got the parts of the Taiwanese, China, and what's the other one? North Korea. They are all together as one. The U.S. has divided Korea to South Korea because they have interests over there, along with the Philippines, along with Japan, because they conquered those people. But eventually, they're going to stand together too. But the Arabs, these guys, man, I'm telling you, when they see that, all the ones that the Arabs are, they have a sense of pride. Like, you know what? We're not allowing them to destroy our brothers like that anymore. They're not. And Saudi Arabia is sitting and be quiet for a long time. You don't never hear nothing about Saudi Arabia. You hear about Iran, Iraq. You don't hear about Saudi Arabia. They all feel that way. We're out of time. Get me the next one. I want. Bring that 101. Officer Mike, you can explain that, because that video right there, that's heavy. It's number 4 from Sergeant News Network.
This is a quick little video.
The 101 Airborne is an elite. You can explain it, and they don't. If you send the 101st in, you're ready to go to war. Yeah. It's damage time, and I believe he's going to explain it.
At a forward operating site, we watched as U.S. soldiers and Romanian troops pounded targets in a joint ground and air assault.
Like forward, that means you're not at Fort Campbell. You're at a forward operating base, which means they mobilized, you've came on some sort of orders, and you're not going to be home for a little bit. Because they could do this type of airfield siege, this type of joint operation. They could do this at Fort Campbell. But no, we're going to send y'all over here. Play on.
At a forward operating site, we watched as U.S. soldiers and Romanian troops pounded targets in a joint ground and air assault. The tank rounds and artillery fire are real. So is the enemy, meant to recreate the fight against Russian forces in Ukraine. A message to Russia and NATO allies alike, we're here.
The real meaning for me to have the American troops here is like if you were to have allies in Normandy before any enemy was there.
In all, roughly 4,700 soldiers of the 101st Screaming Eagles from Fort Campbell, Kentucky, have been deployed to reinforce NATO's eastern flank.
See, Paul, they reinforcing the flank. They're not training. They're there in the case it's about to go down. They're not there to just train. I'm saying they could train back at Fort Campbell. They could train at Fort Irwin in California. They could train at Fort Polk down in Louisiana. Right. Those are training sites for the military.
4,000 highly trained 101st. They call them Screaming Eagles, a bunch of crazy ass. Now, real quick, pull up a map of Romania. We're going to look at that front because if we can pull it up, I know it's getting late, y'all. But, again, the Jewish media is dazzling you with this Kanye. We got a front of 4,700 101st Airborne. We got protests throughout all of Europe. The winter's coming. You got the Arabs talking about, we're martyrs. You going to mess with us, you mess with us all. This is all going on in the world, and guess what? The Lord is making it all happen. What's going to happen in another month from now when it's December and it's colder over there? And now they really understand that 40% of the oil you depended on for both electricity as well as for home heating oil and the eventually crude oil and the fossil fuels break down depending on how it's processed into both gasoline, diesel oil, home heating oil. A lot of it is used to make electricity. It is such a important commodity to these people. It's not 10%. Even that would have been a lot. It's 40% that they report. This is why they're up in arms in Rome and in Paris, France, and in the Czech Republic, and in Spain, and in Hungary. They're going crazy. And it's mainly Caucasians because they know what's coming. And this is where the Lord is going to break apart NATO. Because guess who's controlling it? From across the Atlantic Ocean, you got the United States, and they're making life real hard for people in Europe right now.
Hey, Cap, I was going to say that. Them soldiers, you might as well say they're on a suicide mission. The reason why I'm saying that is because NATO is already having internal conflict. And they don't like the fact that the United States put them in this position. Now, look at here. They just put 101 over there, right? They put 101 over there before they gave them fuel and oil. Right. They said that we can't help you with fuel and oil. We can only ship, but so fast. But they got 101st over there like that.
Right. 5,000. That's a lot of C-130s. A lot of stuff to get all that gear, the vehicles, all of the tactical equipment. That's a lot of fuel that you burn. That's a very good point. Did we finish that video? Oh, did you finish that video? Okay, now look at Romania. Now, I like it. We see the Black Sea. So right now, the 101st is where is can we? Ukraine is. So there's Ukraine. Moldova, I believe that's another country where it says the mouths of the Danube, where it says Galatia. Russia's right there because there's the Black Sea. So if you have Ukraine to your north, Hungary to your west, you got Serbia to your southwest, and what's below there? I need to see that country if we can. Bulgaria, okay. So all these are NATO-affiliated countries. So you got Romania, and the 101st is now fortifying the front. They're not down near Bucharest. They up near on the border. They're going to fight right near the border because they want to control, I think he said the flank, or he said something about that. Can we scroll? I want to see to the right.
They had missions in Bucharest and Bacau. That'd be too much, huh?
Because
That'd be too much.
I want to show you something. All right. We got to end the show soon. This we could really do like a whole nother 2 hours on this. I want, while we wait for this, can you pull up number 9 and number 10 and number 11? We're going to show you that that happened this week. These are major protests that are going on right now in major economies in Europe, major countries with strong economies, and these are Caucasians that are up in arms, and they don't want their leaders in NATO. They want them out. They understand that it's an agenda, and it's hurting them. We're going to show you. Start with 9, 10, and 11. We're going to show you this. All right, yo. Can you? All right. All right. So this is one example of a protest in Italy, and just to show you that, again, they got long sleeves on. It's getting cold out over there, and these are Caucasians that are very upset with their governments because the price of fuel, the price of everything has gone up incredibly, and they understand that Russia, they want to ease the restrictions off for Russian oil. They want it to be able to come back. Now go to number 10. Number 10 is a little bit more. This is in Rome. This is a major city in Italy. Watch what they're talking about here. I think the first one was Rome too. No guerra, no NATO.
Abbiamo visto quello che abbiamo visto, significa una cosa, che abbiamo spaventato loro, perché bloccavamo il porto, perché la gente era nelle strade e facevamo paura, perché per un
Okay, we
momento
can pause from that just to show you that this is what's going on in major. Remember, Italy was one of the largest economies. It was going on. We showed you in Czech Republic. We showed you France. We showed you Spain. Now we're going to show you another video, number 11. It shows several different countries, and it's actually almost every European country that they're doing this in, maybe with the exception of Norway, perhaps, and Finland and Switzerland. But most of the countries that are a larger population, they're doing this.
Yeah, that sign they was holding up, no guerra, no NATO, mean no war, no NATO. They don't want war. They don't want war over there in Europe because they're directly affected by everything that's going on. They're right next to Russia. The pipeline is down. They have no resources. Gas is depleting. And now the U.S. just saw fit to just send some troops over there instead of some fuel and resources.
You send the troops over there, and there's a giant ocean called the Atlantic Ocean that is a great big buffer zone between you and that. And you got people that live in Germany, that live in Bulgaria, that live right there in Romania, that your missiles, you're not even long-range missiles. You are right there when the war goes down. Italy's starting to be affected. Spain, all these countries are being affected. Their pockets are getting hurt. And when the winter comes, and now you're really cold, and and the price of oil is so high, and now you just can't get it. And then brother called in last week on the comment section, said that some places they're making it illegal to even harvest wood for like a wood burning furnace. It's going to get bad over there. There's going to be a lot. There's going to be looting. There's going to be rioting. There's going to be mass uprising. And I'm going to tell you right now, NATO is going to be divided, because how is it that that the brothers are going to be divided? How is the EU going to break up? the Most High had to do something to harden their hearts. And by the way, the shortest, remember 4 weeks ago, we did a show where it was the first, in a while, the first female prime minister, not the first one, but in a while. And she was in office for, I think, 6 weeks. They just got another prime minister in England. He's the first East Indian. It's interesting how they got an East Indian guy that they bred out of an Ivy League school. Now he's the prime minister. They just got him in. Play that 11 if you got it. All right, now this is Australian news media. So although it's Caucasian, it's a little bit different perspective. And he's going to talk about multiple places in the European continent that have these uprisings and these protests. Play.
Erupted across Europe as the cost of living continues to rise. In France, which has decades-high inflation, a coalition of unions called for a nationwide strike, trying to capitalise on the anger. The protest follows weeks-long industrial action at French oil refineries as workers demand higher wages. A third of France's nuclear reactors have also been affected, which is delaying the crucial pre-winter maintenance. Regional train traffic was also cut by about half, and there were some disruptions to schools. In Italy, protesters targeted skyrocketing gas and electricity prices. They were carrying signs.
When they say leave it on here, please. When they say skyrocketing fuel costs and electricity, again, you can get electricity from a nuclear reactor, but a lot of that comes from fossil fuels. So now, of course, you're going to have strikes as the teachers and other factory workers and different transport workers, because you can't afford to buy food, fuel, and heat your home. Now that they're trying to pinch the government. They're trying to shut the government down. When you strike, it's already a tough situation, and now 40% of your fuel is just cut off almost overnight. Like, these people, they're not having it. I'm telling you, and this is not going to stop. This is multiple countries, and my point is, why is this not being shown throughout the doggone United States media? Because they want America to be stupid. They don't want you to see what's really going on. World War III is right around the corner. And they give you Kanye West and this other stupid stuff in the sports and how the Lakers are doing this and the stupid people. But they're some of the stupidest people in the United States of America. The way that they watch our news, again, controlled by who? The Jewish media. It's been proven. Play on.
Saying we won't pay. Higher energy prices are fueled by the war in Ukraine as the EU seeks to wean itself off Russian gas that used to supply 40% of the continent. Italy has found alternative sources and has built up gas stocks ahead of winter. In Spain, pensioners took to the streets demanding higher pensions and better salaries in the face of higher inflation. Spanish consumer prices rose 8.9% year on year in September. But the good news is inflation is starting to slow down. Spain's inflation has been fueled by soaring food and non-alcoholic beverage prices, which grew 14.4%. That's the fastest pace since 1994.
You heard
in
that?
Hungary,
So 14.4% in non-alcoholic beverages and food in a year. And so, again, this is Spain. And in Spain, this is another strong economy. The reason why they're striking is because they're not going to have enough money to live their standard lifestyle that they're living. And it's all across Europe. And it's directly created or is an offspring of the Nord Stream 1 being shut down. And the United States is behind all of it. And they're the ones that lead NATO. And this is why we know that in the spirit, God is doing all of this. And we just got to sit back and be patient, y'all. Play on.
Inflation's been fueled by soaring food and non-alcoholic beverage prices, which grew 14.4%. That's the fastest pace since 1994. In Hungary, thousands of students have rallied behind their teachers as they strike for higher wages. Teachers are also demanding a solution to a deepening shortage of teachers. Some striking teachers have been fired for participating in the protests, while others receive warning letters from the Education Office. And you can see here, those letters are currently being burned.
Okay, so, and just the point, why are educators in Hungary doing these things? Because a teacher's salary, you can't survive. And so they're realizing in all sections of society, in academia, in transportation, in all these different levels of society, they cannot afford to live anymore. And these are happening. That's why the strikes are going to continue to happen. So as we watch this, y'all got to understand what's going to happen, man. This is why we need to continue to just watch and pray and understand that this thing is going to get worse. We've showed you, show up the show, things are getting worse from week to week. Now you got the dragons waking up. The Arabians are realizing, hold up. The Saudi you're talking about, we martyrs. So every week we're going to keep touching this. You're going to see. Wait till it gets to January, February, when it's really, really cold out there. You're going to see, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to have to find these news networks, because you're not going to find it on the traditional news. You're going to have to search and find different sources of news. All right, y'all, listen, it's late. I'm exhausted. Lord's will, you brothers got something on tonight's show. Anything else we got?
Hey, look, Israel, if y'all want to continue to see shows like this, hey, give alms. Y'all can give alms at your local schools via PayPal or at the alms box at your local school. Also, if y'all want to give alms to IUIC New Orleans, y'all can do so at iuic.neworleans@israelunite.org. Also, make sure y'all give to the Booster Club. Y'all can give to the Booster Club at iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org.
Hey, real quick, earlier I said that Romania does not border Russia. What it is directly across, if you go due east from Romania, Russia's there. So if the 101st Airborne is there, they can secure the Russian border. But if they secure that Black Sea, that coastline, that's just a launch point to go right into Russia. So that Black Sea is going to be pivotal. A lot of war is going to happen through there. But look at that. So y'all listen, next we're going to continue to touch on this. Y'all in the comment section, if y'all live in Europe, if something's going on, if you know a special news station, a place that we can get this information, please let us know, because we want to show what's going on over there, because it's going to get hard in Europe, and Europe, that includes the UK. Okay, UK, y'all part of Europe, and this is a big deal. There's a lot of stuff that's going on over there, and we just pray that y'all Israelites that's over there, y'all work together, stay together, pray for each other, and keep us updated. Let us know what's going on. So with that, we precept upon precept. Thanks for staying with us on this late Thursday. With that, we say shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
You listening to precept on precept. Captain Shim break it down to no meat left. Line